Good afternoon, Boxing Rampage fans. Welcome to another episode of Boxing Rampage, episode 41. I'm your host, JC, accompanied by
Doug Fisher? Nah, I'm playing.
Doug Fisher. Oh shit! I didn't realize. He gets the glasses.
I took my glasses off. Flacco here.
And today's episode, we're going to be discussing the results of the Triple G versus Canelo fight. Very good fight. Do you want to start? Or how do you?
Tremendous. Let's start. Let's just put in Superfly. Awesome week of boxing. We had to take a week off due to my boy over here. He got a promotion, whatever. His schedule changed. But great performance for all fights. Chocolatito, should he retire? Not ready. I think he should take. The thing about Chocolatito is go back to Vargas. This guy Vargas fought
Francisco
Vargas fought big fights after big fights, and see his career's almost over. That's the same thing with Chocolatito. He took Quadras, and then he
took all the heavy hitters in his
surrounded side. And another fight, a heavy fight. He should have took a tuna fight. I understand he wanted to go for the, but he didn't look the same. He
was mentally shot, like going into even after the first round, he looked like his head treated mentally.
His head trainer, and I text you while we was texting each other throughout the fight. He didn't look like he was there. His head trainer died not too long ago. The guy needs some time off. He needs tune-ups, and we can't put a lot of pressure on him. I mean, if Yassin starts seeing Chocolatito, I understand why people are putting all these other comments. He's not a hype. This guy is great. The thing is that there's different greatness of boxing.
And he moved up a bunch of divisions.
Exactly. There's different styles. You can't all go to the defensive. Not everybody's Andre Ward. Not everybody's Floyd Mayweather. There's look at Chavez, sir, who was just like Chavez, the father. He wasn't slick like Mayweather, but he was great. And same thing with Chocolatito. I feel people are jumping into conclusion already. I think, But all those fights were great. He put in a great performance. Estrada and Quadras put a great fight. I think that was the best fight of the night. I thought the right man win, and I don't know if you just want to jump in and say something about that. If not, we can go to this card.
No, I felt it was how it should have been. I mean, he was able to deliver that knockdown. So no, I think it was good. And obviously the fights last night, the undercard fights, Jojo Diaz did very well. Obviously taking a last minute option on a 4-day notice, I think. So I even forget the guy's name. He's from Mexico.
Rivera?
Yeah, Rivera. I want to say Francisco Rivera was his name. But pretty much the undercard fights were okay. Diego de la Hoya versus this kid.
Carvalho.
Carvalho, yeah. Pretty much that was a good fight, but he had like Caballero, yeah, but he had 10 pounds on him. So the fights went the way they should have gone, but
not necessarily. I thought the Caballero fight was going to be closer. I thought Caballero was going to perform a little bit better, which he didn't.
He didn't have the power on the punches.
Those guys are not. The thing is that
they're cumulative punches. I get it.
But De La Hoya was pressing it more. It seems like he had the more power because he was a bigger guy. But necessarily these guys are not knockout artists. They don't really have power behind their punches. But overall, it was okay. This undercard was a pay-per-view worthy? No, but
the main event was.
The main event was pretty good. The controversy screwed over, but I think yeah.
So what you think of the main event?
I think it was a good fight, back and forward. As we was discussing earlier, you got the guy of Triple G working throughout the rounds, and I expected that from him. He was kind of missing compared to how he usually does, but he did throw way more punches. If you look at Conti Box, I don't really go by it, but you could see that he still, his percent was right near Canelo, and that's saying that he was throwing way more punches. Even though he missed, he still landed in percentage similar to Canelo, which Canelo was missing.
Did you agree with the overall decision? I know it's a controversial, but did you agree with the overall decision they made as far as a draw?
As a draw, no. I felt that this is the way I saw it. There were 5 rounds that I thought Triple G won convincingly. 3 rounds that Canelo won convincingly.
Excuse me. Keep talking. I need to get some.
And then you had toss-ups rounds. I think 4 of them was toss-up rounds. So if you take those toss-up rounds and give it all to Triple G, that's why you see online that people have like 9-3 for Triple G. That's why, and you have even if you gotta be super biased to give it, and I can see it, 7-5 for Canelo. That's the closest you can give it to Canelo because he only had 3 convincing rounds. The other 4 with toss-up. So if you play around with the toss-up rounds, which were 4.
Do you know any rounds or specific that stand out to you? Or?
I think Canelo won the 12. I think the second Canelo won convincingly in the 12, and I think it was the 9th or 11. I can't remember which one. It was one of the later rounds. It was convincingly. Because the thing about Canelo is that he will allow Triple G to work a lot. He will lean in the ropes. Triple G will put in the work, and you got to give to the aggressor more benefit. And then he will come in, boom, 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 put in he will land perfectly. It's beautiful. But will that all that little 30-second, 15 seconds of work will take over Triple G's work throughout the round. So, you know, everybody's, you know, we've been saying this since the Warwick Kovalev fight part 1. People have different ways to judge it. But in my opinion, you got to be super biased to have it 7-5. You got to be a Canelo fan to have 7-5 for Canelo. The draw, I can live with it. But I think the true score is what I scored it, and I wasn't being biased. I was trying to figure out, okay, Canelo is the favorite, so I would lean a little bit to Canelo, and I scored it 7-5 for Triple G. I saw a lot of people, like I said, scoring it all the way from 9-3 to Triple G to 7-5 for Canelo, and you got, like I said, you got to be leaning to Canelo in order to get that score, because like I said, 5 rounds that Triple G won convincingly, 4 toss-up, and 3 rounds that Canelo won convincingly. So you'll get the math.
Okay. I mean, just to preface the way I saw it, I gotta put this out there. Last week I predicted that Canelo was gonna knock him out 8 or 9 rounds.
Yeah, I'm watching this show.
You had your minute to talk. I stayed quiet. You keep talking, and then I'll say what I gotta say.
Yeah, I've been watching this show for long. You can't go by his prediction, so don't bet out your money on it. All right, go.
Hold on. Well, basically, I said 8 or 9 rounds based on the work I had seen, and you know, looking at the last fights he had. But obviously, it went to 12 rounds. I felt that your prediction was a lot better as far as this whole trilogy thing could play out, being that, you know, the way it went, very controversial. There's no reason there shouldn't be a second fight. Now, as far as what I saw, the same question I asked you, what did I think of the decision, the overall decision, the draw? Like you said, I can live with the draw. I don't think, because to be fair to Triple G fans and to be fair to Canelo fans, I think it would be a draw. Now, as far as the way I scored the fight, obviously I was going for Canelo. That was my prediction. I felt that Canelo won at 8-4. Now, the reason I say this is because last night when I saw the fight, I didn't really keep scoring rounds, and obviously, I mean, I had people over, I couldn't, you know, I was engaged, so I didn't have, like, I wrote this down today, this morning, I saw the fight again. Based on the 4 criteria you have to score a fight, if you're a judge, and I just want to also say, Adelaide Bird, I do not agree with the 10-2 round. There's no way Canelo won 10 rounds and just Triple G won 2. Like, that's way off.
There's no way Triple G won 4 rounds.
And even me being as a bias for Triple G, I would say, that's what I'm saying, 7-5 maybe. And even the draw, like, me, that's what I'm saying, on the spectrum of me being very biased, I would give Canelo 8-4. And even 7-5, I couldn't say even a draw. Last night I saw it as a draw because I was like, whoa, maybe they may be right with the Triple G thing. That's why I was a little apprehensive. I was like, maybe it could be a draw. Because I didn't see anyone had more of the thing. But I wrote this down pretty much, and the way I saw the fight, scoring it on cleaner punches, effective aggression, defense, and ring generalship. Now, rounds 1 through 12, and I don't think anyone can object to this. Canelo won rounds 1 through 12 on the criteria of defense alone. Now, as far as cleaner punches, both of the fighters had their moments, and they had really good rounds. Ring generalship, you could give to either or, and I felt earlier in the fight, Triple G had more ring generalship because he was imposing his will. As far as aggression, Triple G, I felt, had most of the rounds as far as aggression because he was the one trying to make the fight. Now, the way I scored the fights, there were 4 rounds that I thought were close. Rounds 4, 6, 10, and 11. I saw those rounds, and I can honestly tell you, Triple G could have won those rounds. Canelo could have won those rounds. They were so muddy that, you know, and obviously, those rounds I gave, for instance, close round, round 4, it was a close round and I gave it to Triple G. Round 6 was a close round, I gave it to Canelo, but it could have gone either way. So just off of those 2 rounds alone, it could have been a draw, depending on how you score a fight. And rounds 10 and 11 were close as well. Some people argue, a lot of people are saying Canelo won the last part of the fight, but I also felt, you know, based on how you see it, it could have gone either way. So in the 5th round, so basically how I had round 1, I gave it rounds 1, 4, 7, 8. I definitively gave to Triple G. And rounds 2, 3, 5, 6, and obviously this is my bias scoring. This is not the, this is what I saw later on when I saw a fight. 2, 3, 6, 5, 6, 9, 10. And that's what I'm saying. The other rounds, 11, 12 were really close. Well, 12 I gave it to Canelo. But pretty much what I'm trying to say is, what I saw here was that Canelo was putting a lot more investment into the body. A lot of body punches, and one thing I saw, I don't think either guy was like, oh my God, super hurt that they were wobbling. But I saw Triple G, I would say after the 9th and going to the 10th round for sure, Triple G was wincing. He was like, and Triple G was also tired. Like, you saw him, he was like a fish out of the water. You can look at the replay. You can look at YouTube too, because this fight will probably be there in a couple of days. Triple G had his mouth like a fish. He was like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've never seen him like that. And the other thing I felt Triple G kind of self-defeated himself, because Triple G's never looked like this in a fight. I think that mentally he fatigued himself, because in the 2nd round he looked like he was very nervous, like there was a nervous energy. Obviously later on in the fight he got rid of it, but I felt that Triple G like had like this nervous energy, like I don't think he was tired early in the fight. I think he was mentally fatiguing himself, and that's what I'm saying. It was one of those fights that's so close, but overall I don't mind the draw. To be fair to Triple G fans and Canelo fans, just do it again in May. There's no reason not to go back to it. And I overall thought it was a very good fight. It lived up to what they ticketed as. They ticketed the fight as an action-packed fight. They were hitting each other up. I would definitely pay to see this again.
No. First of all, Triple G was nervous. They mentioned, the commentator said, you know, this is his biggest stage. So yeah, that's why he was a little bit nervous in the first couple rounds. It took him a while, but you can't say defensively Canelo won 12 rounds. It's defense. Why? Because you got the guy.
You didn't think he won 12 defense alone? Dude, what was this move right here? What was that? Dude, what was that?
You can't.
No, I'm not saying he won the rounds, just on the component.
No,
based on how you score a fight.
Okay, go back to Chocolatico.
No, let's not.
No, he had no defense. A guy who had no defense. How? The thing is that you're gonna say make a score to defense when a guy.
I'm not giving him the round. I'm giving him that component of the scoring. The component.
Great. Whatever. I mean. Wait for me to finish what I was saying. The guy's in the ropes, why? And he's doing this, and but the only reason he's doing this is because Triple G's aggressive. He's on him, he's throwing shots, and yeah, he's sleeping some punches, but you can't say Triple G's not being defensive because he's putting the work.
But how's that defense?
Putting in the work, you can't create defense when you are having
that's what
offense. No, you create defense when Canelo punch back, and all I saw Triple G was running back to the middle of the ring when he will offset, and Canelo also missed punches. Why? That's why their percentages are similar. Because Canelo, you acting like Canelo like landed everything. I mean,
no percentages. You're right on that, but that's really because of the jabs. But when you look at the punches thrown versus punches landed, Triple G did a lot more work.
This is how that'll show you. This is how you see this guy super biased. Canelo had his mouth open in the 2nd, 3rd round.
No, but he was breathing like a fish. He was like, even in
that's inhaling, outhaling. That's too.
Okay, go back to the Jacobs fight. Toughest fight. Did you see him doing that?
Yes,
early 2nd, 3rd round.
No, but the
Rest my case on that part.
No, because we both agreed that it was due to him being nervous. And the commentator said it.
But he was tired. 2nd round.
No, how the fuck he was tired when he threw 700 punches throughout the fight? Canelo only threw 500.
Were they effective punches?
Yes. He still created a bigger margin in percentage.
By how much? By a point?
What?
the connect percentage.
Yeah, but that's you're saying by a point, but then again, you got to create it was 58 punches more than Canelo. So overall the fight. So what are you saying? What are you trying to say? This is the thing. Like I said, you got to be super biased to give this even that score that you came up. And he's admitting he's being biased, but damn.
No, I agree with the overall decision. But I told you I scored it two ways. My personal, because that's the whole point of asking someone, how did you score the fight? My biased way of scoring it, trying to be impartial, the most I can give Canelo is 8 rounds. At the minimum, I give him 7. And then the tie 6, fine, that's all. But these scores are all based on how you see something stylistically.
So the minimum, listen to how he contradicts himself. A minimum he could give him a 7, but then he said there was four toss-ups.
That's what I'm saying. You can push it that way. You can push the line there. But I don't think Canelo lost, like I'm saying, that it was the other way to where he had 8 rounds and then Canelo only got 4 rounds. Like, I can make a great argument to say 5 rounds.
You and Adelaide Bird are almost in the same box. This is ridiculous. Like
okay, so let's move on. Getting to the Adelaide Bird thing, why do you think, why do you think she would score? Do you think there's corruption there, or do you think there was a reason? And if so, who do you think specifically may have been involved?
Dude, CJ Ross also scored it, and this is then. Hopefully, I didn't, because I pulled up a thing right here. Then I lost it. Somebody just posted something on. Somebody, I'm sorry. Somebody just posted this. These are the times that there's judges that, and the way the corruption is. Vegas is corrupted. For me, they go with the money fighter, and these are scores that you got to look at. And shout out to Lancer Boxing who just posted it while we were doing the show. 118-109 trial versus Canelo on a fight that I scored at 6-6, and I gave the fight to Canelo because he got the knockdown. 14-14, that was CJ Ross on a fight that probably you could give Canelo 2 rounds. 17-111 on a fight that I thought Lara won. The most you could give is 1 round in the other side to create a margin for Canelo to win. So 7-5, the most, and that's being like, you can't go more than that to a Canelo. You're being biased. And 119-109 on Cotto, which I scored it 7-5 for Canelo. And then last night, 118-110 for. I think it's, and that's the thing. The same thing with Mayweather. And I always said this, not taking anything from Mayweather, but when the rounds are close, they were automatic for Canelo. Same thing how you scored it. When the rounds are close, you're automatically giving the rounds for Canelo, because you're saying that there were 4 toss-up rounds, and you scored it, so you're giving all the toss-up rounds.
No, that was one of the toss-up rounds. The 4th, I would say the 4th round was a toss-up.
Okay, so it's
a Triple G. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying
so. So if you would have given it to Canelo, you would have been closer to Adelaide Bird. So how does this score make sense?
No. What I'm saying,
if that 1 round that you said it was toss-up.
No, those 4 toss-up.
Okay, so
either way.
Out of those 4, you gave 1 to Triple G. If you would have given it to Canelo, your score would have been similar to Adelaide Bird. Insane. Like, it would have been 9-3 for Canelo, which is...
No, hers was 10-2.
Well, what's the difference? 1 point difference.
No.
1 point difference. Listen, you got 4 toss-up. You gave 3 of them to Canelo, 1 to Triple G. It made your score 8-5, 8-4 for Canelo. If you would have gave that 1 round to Canelo, you would have had 9-3 for Canelo. What the fuck are you watching? This is the same thing. Sometimes when I see score like this, it was a close fight. If you tell me Canelo won 7-5, I can live with it. But don't tell me 8-4, 9-3.
I never said 9-3.
You just said
no.
Toss-up rounds.
Here it is.
And you gave
my personal opinion, the way I scored it. This is me being biased. That's what I'm saying. Okay, let me tell you something. What I'm trying to say is that you can score a draw, and I agree with the draw to be impartial to the overall score, and I believe if you're being impartial is fine. Now, if you're asking my personal opinion, and this is not reflecting on anyone, because everyone, you have your opinions, I have mine. The most I could give Canelo was 8 rounds, but at a minimum, even if they all say, okay, not 8, because there were toss-up rounds, 7-5. And even so, maybe a tie. But as I'm saying, me not being biased, me trying to play it fair down the middle, I would say a tie. There's no way, because this is what I'm taking away. This is the reason I feel so strongly about it. At no point in the fight did any fighter impose their mental will more on the other fighter. At no point did any fighter break the other fighter. You can't say that about this fight. You cannot say at no point you can say, wow, Triple G, the pressure got to Canelo, he broke him. At no point could you say Canelo, the way he fights his counterpunching got to Triple G. So really, we have two fighters that have not been broken mentally.
So that's why we have a system.
That's what I'm saying.
A 12 round.
But no, I get it. And even, judges can be wrong. Adelaide Bird was way off. Even if she had Canelo 115, 113, it would have been a lot better and would have been less controversial. But the fact that it's so wide, it puts more discredit to the fight. Now, as far as the fight itself, that's the reason I feel that way. I don't feel that any fighter, you can say last night that, oh my God, he blew him out the water, even by a little bit.
There's people online, and last night I was seeing there are boxers, there are boxers analysts that have it 9-3 for Triple G, and I can see that. Why? Because, like I said, Canelo won convincingly 3 rounds. The other rounds are really toss-up rounds. There's like 4 of them toss-up rounds. Why? Because Canelo will work in segments, in spurts, and it's hard. Like you will probably try to understand, or maybe get to where either you're gonna give it to the guy who looked great for 2 seconds, or the guy who worked the most. So that's why I had a 4 round toss-up rounds. I get 2 of them to Triple G, 2 of them to Canelo. 7-5 for.
Okay, so even to be fair like that, you give 2 rounds apiece, then it would still be 7-5 for your guy, and if I was to take that round on mine, it would be 7-5 on mine. So I think it was close either way. It just depends what criteria you were using. But overall, the main thing to take away from this is they're definitely going to do. I mean, nothing's been announced, but from what I see, there's no reason they shouldn't do a rematch. And I think what you had said last week, as far as being a trilogy, or at least 2 fights, it kind of set itself up that way to where they're going to do another fight. And like I'm saying, the real winners last night were Oscar De La Hoya and Tom Loeffler, because they're gonna renegotiate this. And the thing is, the buzz of the fight last night was so good that it sets up the rematch to where more people would be willing to buy it. Mind you, they sold out the arena, but
we're running out of time, guys. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy this. I don't see us going back and forth that often.
This is a very passionate, personal fight. Like, we went to sleep last night, and I was like this. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? I was like, what's going on with the world? What's burning?
If you see our texts in our chat rooms, it's been going since like Wednesday, I think.
This guy was going ham.
This guy said that Canelo was gonna TKO Triple G.
No, that's right. Obviously, the fight happened, and like I'm saying, that was incorrect on my fight. But should they do a rematch? I personally think Canelo would do a lot better in a rematch.
Canelo didn't seem like he wanted a rematch on the interview. Maybe
we don't know that for sure.
We got Triple G should fight Saunders on December, or Cotto, either or, both money fights. UK Saunders. Saunders looked terrible against
Willie Monroe.
Willie Monroe.
Yeah.
And
hey, how about his son kicking him in the ball?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
He said he was sorry at the end of the fight. So hey.